Let's start with 3 deep breaths. 3 deep breaths. Whatever stress, negative energy we're coming here. We're both here. We're both going to connect. One more deep breath. Let out those jitters and get into the rhythm. It's going to be fine. All is well.
I think you just introduced yourself way better than I ever could.
Oh, I'm so happy. I don't know if it's recorded or not. I just want
It is
to...
recording.
Okay.
So that's actually how I'm going to start my podcast.
So real behind the scenes. Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much
Pleasure.
for coming to meet me today.
I'm happy to be here.
We encountered some technical difficulties before getting started.
But everything's temporary. That's what happens.
Yes, exactly. There you go. And so there were a couple of things that I wanted to ask you before we start recording, but I will ask them now. And it's just, actually, it's for the best. It's going to be more natural this way.
Okay.
So first of all, how should I call you? Because you're Dr. Rosi on Instagram.
Correct.
And so your real name is
Rosi.
Rosi?
So Rosa is my real name, but I never introduced myself as Rosa.
Okay.
So Rosi.
Okay, so Rosi it is. Yeah. Dr. Rosi.
Hi.
You are an actual MD.
I am.
And you also do content. No, not at all, actually. And you actually do content creation too. Correct. Right now. So let's start with your studies in medicine. Mm-hmm. What prompted you to go into that field?
Great question.
Which is very competitive and challenging.
That. Totally is. So I did the, natural health sciences in CEGEP here in Quebec, and not really knowing where I'd go into next, actually no idea. And I think the idea, I always wanted to help people, right? I loved helping people. For sure, I loved healthcare. I love the body, mind, soul, all that stuff. But it never really crossed my mind that I could become a doctor, that I had competitive grades enough, that I was a good candidate, right? So that wasn't even an option. And so I looked to my friend who was applying into physical therapy. She was a soccer star and she's like, oh, they're great. They help you in rehab. And I was like, sounds like fun. Let's do it. So I did physical therapy. And then 1 year into physio, I was like, you know what, Rosie, maybe. I was looking at the people around me who were applying, getting into medicine. I'm like, well, if they can, why can't I? And that was kind of the trigger point of seeing other people who are not so much smarter than me, who are not so much more capable than me. And so I finally kind of went with the leap of faith. And that's when I applied in my second year of physical therapy, and I went for it. And so I went through all the interview processes in Quebec to French medical schools, English being McGill. But it was, I have to say, the big boost of you can do it was really my husband, who at the time was my tutor and my boyfriend eventually. But if it wasn't for him, I would have switched out of sciences in CEGEP because I was already failing my chemistry, physics, and calculus in my first trimester of health sciences. So he boosted me. He was like, you could do it, which it was the little, I can't give an analogy, but a little animal that gets pushed. You could do it. And really was, you could do it until I finally did it. And I remember getting my acceptance letter on his birthday, May 16th.
Oh,
years
my
ago.
Goodness.
Yeah, we were out one night and it was at midnight. They're like, Université Laval vous invite, blah, blah. And it's a long process since then. It's been a lot of ups and downs. Even once you're in medical school, that's okay, first check mark, but then there's a lot of steps after that. But that was kind of the process. Yeah. I always knew I wanted more. Physical therapy was an introduction to the human body, the musculoskeletal system. I loved it. I loved helping people, but I'm maybe more systems. Maybe let's learn a bit more.
Yeah. Allow me to just say that I think it speaks to the health of your relationship, or the kind of boyfriend or man that you married, that he wanted the best for you and really pushed you to
100%.
Become everything that you could be. I think that's really admirable. Yeah.
You're right. And no one else could have done what he did. No one else was about to push me. If anything, I was getting the opposite advice of oh, it's too hard. You're right. Switch out. Or here are the other options in health science. And he was the only one that was I barely know you, but I know you can do this. So you're totally right.
And here you are.
That's true till today. Here I am till today. Yeah.
So did you enjoy your studies?
That's a tough question. No. I enjoyed the relationships I made and built, but there was a lot of hardship. I moved to a city 3 hours away from home, and home is a big thing for me because I'm very close to my family, So it was hard already to be far. Medical training in general is hard, arduous, very challenging, taxing. You feel like you're studying all the time. But I made the most of it. I would say that.
Okay.
I found my niches. I went out when I could with friends. I made the best of it. Yeah. I went to the gym in Quebec City, things that kind of cleared my mind whenever I could. Traveled a lot. Whenever I had a break, I was traveling somewhere with my boyfriend at the time.
Okay. And so after your studies, like I assume you got a job as
yeah. So then I went
doctor.
into residency, which is when you specialize in family medicine, and that was in Montreal. So I got to come back to the city, felt like home, felt like everything made sense again. I got an apartment with my then boyfriend, becoming my fiance. And then I got a job after graduating, which was also not easy, but eventually, when I graduated in 2018, I got a PREM, which is like the right to practice in Quebec, and I've had it ever since.
Okay. And so what inspired a doctor, someone who is like rooted in science,
Totally,
to move over? Well, not completely move over, because you still practice medicine, but what drew you to content creation? Because that in itself can be a full-time job. And from what I see, like the quality of your posts, it takes time to produce that kind of content. So, and on top of that, you're a wife, you're a mother to 3 kids. Yeah. Like that's already like a bunch of hats, full-time hats on their own, in their own right.
5 full-time jobs. Yeah.
So yeah, what drew you to content creation? And that's another thing, I think, if I remember correctly, you posted something a few days ago about how people kind of discouraged you from going into content creation. Yeah. So it's like, that's another
layer of how am I still doing this despite all the doubt?
Yeah.
It started in 2018, like when I actually shared health advice. I was sharing some like workouts here and there. I remember during medical school, I didn't really know the platform. I didn't understand content creation, but I was just having fun sharing some recipes. 2018, I graduated and I literally was in my head, how can I reach more people? I know all this stuff. I want to help as many people as I can. And that's always been my mantra, help as many people as you can in whatever way I can. Your nervous system, your mental health system, your physical body. So I went ahead and I filmed a video. I remember exactly what I was wearing. It was a short black skirt with a white coat on top. Really not who I am today. I don't even wear white coats. But, at the time, it made sense for the look of a doctor.
Yeah.
On my couch talking about anxiety and mental health and different tools people can use. And I posted it. And then I made another one about STDs. And I posted it. And I said, my purpose here is Dr. Rosi is to help you live a healthier life. And then I got pushback right away. Why did I do that? So again, to answer the question, to reach as many people as possible.
Well, what kind of pushback? Why is there pushback?
It wasn't even directly to me because people like to talk behind, closed doors. A supervisor of mine, right? I was just finishing residency, reached out to me literally by text being like, hey, Rosi, there's a group of doctors, thousands of doctors online on Facebook, which I was not yet part of because I didn't finish I wasn't like a staff yet. I wasn't privy to that information, who are talking about your videos. And I don't think Montreal scene is ready for that kind of stuff. Like, I think it's too out there, basically.
Okay.
Based on what these doctors apparently are saying about me. And I was like, I took a deep breath. I'm hardly a doctor, like a independent practicing doctor myself. And here I am being told that I'm doing the nay-nay, right? Niche. So I reached out to my sister, who totally supported. And she was like, Rosi, are you doing harm to someone? No. Are you enjoying it? Yeah. Don't worry about what they're saying. And that was literally just the voice I needed to hear to keep going. And
okay. So they were just talking about it. It's not like you were actually doing something that is
they were like, she's inappropriate. No, of course not. They were like, what she's wearing is inappropriate. She doesn't represent us. How dare she be in leggings? Like things like that.
Okay.
And then, since then I've had other feedback as well from doctors. I just don't focus on it because I don't like to focus on the negative. But yeah, it's like a never ending thing in this industry. It's not cool, but it's not. It's frowned upon, I guess, at least in Canada, for doctors to put themselves out there. And I'm not like every doctor. I'm not in my white coat anymore. I'm wearing a sports bra most of the time. So that makes people feel even more uncomfortable. Like, how dare she?
Yeah.
But then I have patients who come who are inspired by that. I saw your videos. I did your workout. I felt so good about it. I ate your recipes. And I'm like, well, très bien. I'm not just giving you the medicine. I'm giving you the tools in life to do, and you're applying it. I'm doing my job.
Yeah. So you're a trailblazer in Montreal.
I think so. Something like that in healthcare, yeah.
So did you think you were going to grow that kind of following and impact that many people when you started?
No. And that is literally the only reason I keep showing up. Because every day that I go in my DMs, my direct messages, and I see someone write to me some positive feedback, how I've helped them make healthier choices, which is ultimately my goal, I'm like, all right, keep going. Whatever, how if I reach 5 people today, if I reach 5,000 people today, and it seems to be that I'm reaching thousands recently. So I'm happy to
You are.
do it.
And I'd now like to tell you about the reel the first reel that I saw of you, and as I mentioned to you like before, I never hit follow so fast because you were being so sensible. You were talking about it was a very no-nonsense video. Like you were just bringing it, you were talking about health and bringing it down to the basics. You said that one thing I remember is, people who are who choose certain medications to lose weight are not being lazy. They're using this medication because as a tool to help their psychology, to help reduce food noise and cravings. That's the first one I remember, but you were just bringing nuance to things that were like, yes, no, good, bad.
A no-nonsense approach, because in the content creation world where influencers and non-professionals are sharing their opinion and that feeling like it's evidence-based, I'm like, that's enough. Like it's enough of people's feelings coming in the way of facts. And in health, that's what it is. People feel like matcha is better for them, so they're going to say it. Forget the fact that coffee has all these other benefits on your gut microbiome, but coffee's bad for you because cortisol. Like, they just say what they want, and it's taken pour acquis. And when it comes to weight loss, that's a big one because, of course, Ozempic, the big O word.
And I think that another example you gave was it was very trendy for a while to put butter
I know what video you're talking about.
Date. That one. You were just raising all of these hot topics that are somewhat controversial, and you were just addressing them
simplistically.
Simplistically, and just, let's be reasonable, let's be real here. It doesn't have to be like good, bad, black, white. And I remember you said like whoever is telling you to eat that as a snack is like about to give you a heart attack.
Exactly.
Heart attack.
He's giving you a quick path to a heart attack.
Yes. So that's the video that drew
hot
me to you.
Hot takes as a doctor. That's what
hot takes as a doctor. Yeah. Exactly. I'm actually going to insert it in the podcast now so that people know what I'm referring to.
Takes from a family doctor and personal trainer. And you might not like me for a lot of the things I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. Cortisol is not the root of all your problems. And anyone who claims it is and is not an endocrinologist or a hormone specialist of some sort has no qualification telling you. More importantly, try to pay attention as to what they're trying to sell to you if they are claiming that you have a hormone imbalance. Number 2, there is no single exercise to reduce belly fat or snatch your waist. When someone tells you that this is a meal for fat loss, it is a fat lie. There is food that helps you lose weight, but the only way to actually lose fat or weight is to be in a caloric deficit. Pills and injections are absolutely not cheat sheets to fat loss or weight loss. They're absolutely necessary for many, many people and will change the psychology of their brain, the food noise in their mind, in order to help them build the habits of losing weight. Is it overused specifically in Hollywood? Yes, it is. Does that mean that no one should be taking medicines for weight loss? Absolutely not. Not all about the weight loss. It's about so much more. Longevity, disease prevention. Dates and butter are a hard no. Someone who's suggesting this as a snack is literally giving you a fast track towards a heart attack, because atherosclerosis, aka cholesterol in your arteries, the number one cause of heart attacks and strokes, is a result of excessive trans fat, which is the main ingredient in butter. Take it easy. Sleep is the GOAT. Truly, for tissue repair, for weight loss, for hormone regulation issues, people need better sleep. And as a result of better sleep, you will have better habits and less of a challenge developing good habits. Bottom line, if your favorite influencer is giving you health advice, you should not be taking it. You should be taking health advice from a healthcare professional, dietitians, nurses, doctors, specialists, people in the field, pharmacists. Your favorite influencer should be giving you maybe advice on style, makeup, and other things that you like following them for.
But yeah, so you shared this reel, and I think you were still growing at the time. Like that was a few months ago, and I mean I think your following grew exponentially since. And so I think that people are kind of returning to, there's like a return to the basics.
I hope so.
Because there are so many opinions online, so many schools of thought that it's easy to get lost.
Totally.
Because how can you be on keto and intermittent fast? How can you be, how can you follow the government's guidelines while also doing this? And some people say that it's like you should be having like let's say eggs every day. Others will say no, eggs increase your cholesterol. It's like, and they're all experts. They all have, at least for the most part, some form of education that allows them to make these statements.
Right.
And so is that something you noticed as well?
100%. And while I'm also not a dietitian, so I will never say I know everything when it comes to nutrition, I'm definitely a doctor who emphasizes more on lifestyle medicine, which is what? Movement, nutrition, rest, mindfulness, right? Like the basics, basically. So yes, I've taken a deep interest in those topics. So I definitely know more about them than the average family doctor, let's say. So I don't know everything, but what I do know, I will always share. And if I don't know, I'll also look it up. I'm humble enough to say, I'm not really sure.
Right.
Or it depends on your case.
Yeah.
People are so quick to make these blanket statements, but do you know the background of A, B, and C person? For me, it's a patient. For you, it's a person, right? Because they're influencers, so they can say what they want to anyone. But yes, I think there was this whole thought that we're out of diet culture. And I think this is just a new form of diet culture. Diet culture doesn't exist the way it did in the 90s and early 2000s of like Slim Fast and Weight Watchers and whatever it looked like then. It looks like this now. It looks like you need to be on Ozempic and you need to look like a Kardashian, but you need to be eating this and you need to be eating even the protein obsession, right? Like I share it in an educational standpoint. Like if you're eating enough, you'll probably be satiated, building muscle, et cetera, living longer. People do it in a get 50 grams or you're worthless. And I'm like, that's not really healthy. Like, what is this advice you're getting? You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
it's diet culture in a weird way, or like women only showing the outcomes of what they eat based on how they look, right?
Yeah.
I do emphasize like I was able to lose X pounds postpartum, but I say that as a tool to inspire you to make better choices, not look like me because I maintain this body fat percentage forever and ever. Whereas that's what I see a lot of online, right? Like how I eat this to stay slim all year round. Like, is that the only objective? And that's for me perpetuating diet culture.
Yeah, I agree. And I've obviously seen some of your recipes and the way you eat, and they look delicious. Thanks. So my next statement is not a form of disrespect in any way, but it is just simple food. Like there's nothing sexy like 50 grams of this and this is exactly what you need to incorporate in this meal. And if you don't, it sets people up for failure in a way, because then you feel like, well, if I didn't hit that number, then I'm already like not succeeding. I'm not moving towards my goal.
Or if I didn't buy organic, or if I didn't get this type of fruit or potato, right? So I'm just like, look at what you have in your pantry. You most likely have a can of chickpeas. You most likely have eggs. You most likely have Greek yogurt, right? Like you have oats. Like I really use basic ingredients. I also really follow the Mediterranean diet, which is the only evidence-based diet, okay? Not carnivore, not keto, for longevity, for a healthier cardiovascular health, for cancer prevention. So for sure, that's what I'm inspired by, right? Olive oil instead of vegetable oil. Do I demonize seed oils? Nuh-uh, because there's not good evidence about demonizing it. So whereas you probably see there's like this blow up of like,
absolutely.
Oil, how dare you, right? So no, do I fry in vegetable oil once a month? Yeah, I do, right? Because that's real life, nuance. It cannot be black and white. Like that's not sustainable. You're going to go to a restaurant and ask them every ingredient, then don't go to the restaurant. Like what's the point of that experience?
So where are these opinions coming from?
People's heads. Also professionals like doctors in the States usually, who go off to make these big statements to sell whatever they're out to sell, right? Because that is a lot of people's purpose online. And I've created a business online too. No shame to making business online. But when you do it at the expense of people's health or by using people's fear, fear-based selling, just because you have a title, well, that's danger. And then that gets passed on through podcasts, through, as informed advice, but it's really just advice.
Yeah.
There could be like one-off, maybe a study, but not a poorly done study, and they extrapolate from that.
I understand.
Maybe it was a study done on mice, and it's enough for them to say no one touched seed oils, which I'm pretty sure the seed oil story came from not a study done on humans. So,
okay. Good to know. I didn't know that.
And then there are doctors who are claiming it, and then people feeding off that Hollywood doctor.
Yeah.
Right?
I also wonder, like, from a psychological perspective, if, cutting entire food groups gives people a sense of power. You know what I mean? It's like,
feels like I did something
this,
big.
I did it. Yes.
You are absolutely right. It's just like when people, yes, because they're like, I'm in control, but extremes don't last. So sure, you'll see results. Like I always tell people, you can cut out all the cookies in the world. I will never. You can cut out your cookies. You can cut out your sodas, your sweeteners, whatever. See results. Feel like extreme. Feel like you did something. But honey, try to do that for 10 years. Is that really a life that you can live? I don't think most people can sustain that. namely because we're in a society where we are inundated with that. So balance.
Yeah.
Like, can you work on self-control while enjoying indulgences minimally and really prioritizing the good stuff maximally? That's a life well lived, and that's going to bring you long-term.
So let me ask you a question without making you responsible for the answer.
Yeah.
But if it was that easy to live a balanced life, everyone would do it. So there's a reason people cannot just stop at, like, let's say 1 or 2 cookies, and some, go as far as eating the entire box. So why is balance so hard to attain? Because it is simple. It's very simple when you think about it.
Exercising is simple. Go and do these moves and you're done. But to do it is different. There's a self-control issue. There's obviously a psychological component. There's sugar. We know that there's an addiction to sugar. We have a sugar addiction issue in North America, period. Fentanyl. So if you know there's an addiction to sugar, people have to work on undoing that, like any other addiction, whether it's cigarettes or, I don't say that it's as strong as cigarettes, but it's an addiction. It is.
Yeah.
Our tendencies, our palates are built around getting these quick pleases. Also, ultra-processed food, right? Not just sugars, but any ultra-processed, whether it's chips or whatever, give us that sense of, I guess, dopamine rush or that appeasement that we don't get from eating a green pepper raw. But that doesn't mean you can't change that. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes years in most cases, especially if, there's socioeconomic aspect. If you were raised in a house living off eating, like surviving off fast food, of course your palate is used to that. And to change that is like changing a generational cycle because you were raised on that.
That's
right?
a good point.
So there's that component. There's what can you afford, although healthy food doesn't have to be expensive. And I kind of, iterate that with my recipes.
I see your groceries sometimes.
Yeah,
and I mean,
like, I have that.
Yeah, I have that. And it's not like you're picking only organic vegetables or fruits. Like, it's a very reasonable, average sort of grocery list.
And that's why I share it, because I want people to be like, oh, health is achievable, even from a doctor who can afford mostly what it's expensive, period, right?
Yes.
But you could still make better choices, and there are healthy choices that are not going to break the bank. But yeah, to answer your question, there's a psychological component, there's a socioeconomic, and then there's an addiction aspect which is, I guess, a psychological, that people either recognize or don't. And first you got to recognize it. You have to be like, oh, you know what? I kind of always tend to the cookies. I always tend to this.
Yes.
And there's different ways of managing it. Again, a nutritionist is probably a better place, but removing it from your house, working on portion control, eating the good stuff first. That's why we say veggies first. Lead with veggies. It's a simple, no-nonsense approach, but lead with veggies first. You're likely going to snack less on the unhealthy stuff.
Yes. I have a question about sugar being an addiction, because with any other addiction, unless I'm mistaken, the solution is to entirely
remove it.
Remove the
agent.
The agent, exactly. So do you think that we should adopt? Actually, I don't think that's what you think.
No, I don't, because I love challah. I make it every week, and it's made with sugar.
Okay.
There's your answer, right?
Yeah.
So can I make a sugar-free
maybe you're
challah?
not addicted to
I'm
sugar.
Not.
Yeah.
I don't think I am anyway. Do I like a bite with my coffee? Almost every day. Not every day. I can do without, but I enjoy it more when there is a sweet, because I have very bitter coffee. I don't put sugar in my coffee. Do I see that as an addiction? I don't.
Yeah.
Because if I was on an island, there was no sugar around me, I wouldn't freak out.
Right.
I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
It's happened already.
It is what it is.
I've been in Indonesia and I was eating rice and tempeh for weeks, and I actually loved it. But I think it's forcing yourself to expose your taste buds to that. My husband is currently doing this low-key, and I don't even share this stuff online. He was like, it's enough with the process. I'm doing nothing. Like nothing that's not, he has like a certain list of things. He just wants to see how he feels after a week of doing it, like a self-experiment. And he's like, honestly, it's crazy how often I ask myself, like, oh, what treat am I having? What am I, he ends his meal usually with something sweet. I think we all do. And so to reverse that instinctual, and he's a healthy guy, right? On paper, he's super healthy. But I'm like, even you who has self-control, who is, physically active and eats 90% healthy food, has the back thought of like, what sweet can I have with this meal? So he's like, it's just a practice of like, how much can I avoid it? And how will my taste buds change if I do avoid it for 7 days, 2 weeks, whatever he chooses to do.
Yeah. So I want to return to something you said about favoring the Mediterranean diet. What is the Mediterranean diet?
Whole foods. I don't know the whole list, but it's basically based on lean proteins like white fishes, salmon, omega fatty acids, so healthy fats, right? Not saturated fats, but olive oil, fats from fish, namely avocado and fruits and nuts. But yeah, so whole foods, grains, nuts, and healthy oils. Like that's majority.
Yeah, again, the basics.
The basic stuff that you see in my diet all the time, right? Like even like feta cheese, but it's like that's obviously in it. But portion control. Like if you have a cup of feta cheese, it ain't healthy anymore, right? Like if you're able to take an amount, and I try to share that in my videos, even the amount of granola I'm eating, like it's the poison is in the like the I don't know the quote exactly, but the amount is what makes it the poison,
the excess,
right? Yeah. So if I have this much granola, well, it's no longer healthy. But if I have this portion of these ingredients, it is healthy, right? So anything too much is not healthy, period. Mediterranean diet being whole foods, healthy fats, and grains is the way to go if you want to point to a diet. It's not restrictive. It doesn't say don't have that, like the keto or the carnivore. They say don't have something else. Mediterranean is prioritize this good stuff, and you'll be good.
Yeah.
And the blue zones, which is an area in the world, like part of Greece and Mediterranean, they live the longest in the whole world. That's known. Part of it is their lifestyle, their stress levels, their environment, being outdoors. Part of it is what they eat.
You know, I've heard from multiple people now that when they go to Europe and eat pasta there, they don't.
They have less side
bloating.
effects.
Exactly.
People who are like gluten intolerant here tend to not be there. Sure, I don't know how they make their pasta here there versus here, but I'm sure there is a reason, you know, a scientific behind how it's made that explains that.
Okay.
Even dairy products, yeah.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So, as we mentioned earlier, you are a mother of 3, and the fact that you take your health so seriously, I'm sure rubs off on your children. So you're kind of setting them up for success in that area. How do they feel about what?
Trying my best.
Yeah, but do they push back? Are they already have they already not implemented because
I already notice it in
they're
their
children.
Habits. Exactly, they are. They're 5. There's 5 about to be 6 tomorrow, a 4 and a 1-year-old. So
happy birthday in advance.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a big deal. I have all summer babies. I've been celebrating all summer long in a good way. But I will say this. So twofold. On the one hand, 100% they have taken on from me and my husband's examples. Thank God, I'm grateful. Okay, it rubs off. That's like the second side effect. On top of taking care of myself, it's rubbing off on them. For the physical, the mental, and the nutrition. So I say, you know, health is all encompassing. It's not just what you eat. It's what you consume online. It's what you consume in your mouth. It's what you consume in conversations. It really is holistic, right? Health is all those things. So on the physical, they're into being active. They don't obsess over exercise, but they're going to do push-ups next to us. Love that. I see it happening. Keep going, man. Like it's only up from here. I can imagine. For the nutrition, we live in a world where they are exposed to the garbage when I'm not around, and I can't help that. I've had to let go of that, right? It used to be like the first child, the first year daycare. Well, how much can I control? How much can I remove? And then I'm like, you can't. Daycare will offer that, and you're in a public health daycare system. You can. Maybe, you know, my kid in kindergarten, a bit more grade 1, I can send him home with his own lunchbox. I have more control. And like, as much as you want to relinquish control, you want to be in control of the things that matter. So on the one hand, they're eating the not good stuff and they do like it, one more than the other. You know, the baby's getting no sugar. I decided that he's getting no processed sugar until he literally can express it and ask for it. Because why will I intentionally give him something that is processed that I know is not healthy? If I don't need to, I won't. Yeah. So that's one thing. But the 4 and the 6-year-olds, listen, at home they eat balanced food. They're happy for what they have, but if they definitely ask for snacks and unhealthy things, but they understand it has to be in moderation. So if they have a slice, it's not like give me 5 more. They get it. They're like, okay, that's enough. Okay, but they'll, you know, the 4-year-old after supper be like, so what's my dessert? And sometimes like it's fruit, and sometimes I'm like, hey, we're gonna sprinkle some Nesquik on a banana, call it a day, right? Yeah. But I try. It is an effort, but we don't live in a vacuum. You know, if I homeschool, it would be different situations, but we don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you manage to be a doctor, a content creator, a mother, a wife? And I mean, I've only known you in the context of what you do online, but you do it well. So
thank you. Thanks.
I suppose that you wear all these other hats really well too. So how do you do it?
I try to. Nothing is ever perfect. I'm always a work in progress in all these domains, right? As much as I'm improving myself as a doctor every day, I'm improving myself as a mom every day. Nothing comes with a manual. Specifically motherhood and specifically content creation, right? Content creation, I find resources. I've been, you learn as you go. With anything with practice, you get better. I have finally fine-tuned my approach, a kind of a system, and it's hard to have systems when you have 3 kids. Like I don't have the schedule of a 20-something-year-old who has no kids and has all their time to themselves. But within the time that I have, I optimize. So if I'm cooking supper for my family and this is a recipe I want to post, I'm going to be filming. My kids know. My tripods are set up and I'm literally filming as I'm cooking supper with them. And then we eat without cameras, without anything. But I'm filming as much as I can. And then I have to work on the editing later. So I do that late nights. I do that when my kids are napping. Like, as you can imagine, the little nooks of time that I have. I've been on maternity leave for the past year, so I've been home with my baby, which is a blessing, but, I breastfeed. So I've not been in clinic. So my point is, like, I'm really dedicated to them this past couple of years. There is no balance. I do what I can when I can. And I'm all about, like, I could die tomorrow. And with that perspective, I maximize every day.
That's a really good philosophy.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's how everyone's like, how do you do it? How do you do it every day? I'm like, I could die tomorrow. So will I regret that I didn't do the most today? That's it. That doesn't mean I'm perfect. That doesn't mean I don't yell at my kids. But if I do, I will make sure to apologize before the end of the night because I don't want to sleep being like, yo, you felt bad about that yesterday, right? So I do my best and I am really present despite being so much on social media. Like, I probably didn't post all morning because I was with my kids for the past 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that's real. Like, I can't pretend that. And I try to show up for my audience. And like I said, my audience, my followers. And because I get so much good feedback, I keep showing up. Like, it feels good to help people. So,
and all that good feedback is very well deserved.
Thanks.
But I also know that you sometimes get like bad feedback or people just like hating for no reason.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that is?
I think people can't handle seeing other people do well. People are miserable in their own lives. There's so many reasons, but I don't even overthink it. I'm just like, you ain't happy today? That's okay. Bye. Like, there's a whole world of internet. You can watch other videos, but if people go out of their way to take their time to negative comment on your stuff, whether they follow you or not, that's a them issue, right? Like, I don't have time to waste to be doing that on someone's channel. I know how precious my time is. They clearly don't value their time. Poor them. I see it empathetically. I'm like, poor you, dude. Block. Ciao. Like, that's it. I don't need your energy in my space. I see what it looks like. So that's kind of how I see that. I think people are just often miserable and project a lot of their own feelings, depending on the comments, right? Whether it's about my body image or about medicine or about what I'm doing or what I'm sharing. And I'm just like, obviously an old version of me would take that personally, would be offended, would think, how can I change it to make the next person happy? I've realized you cannot make everybody happy. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to make everybody happy anymore. I did for a long time, try to make everybody happy, including my colleagues, including people in the medical field space and the online space and the family space. No one's going to be, you're never going to have everyone's okay on what you do. And that's okay. As long as you're okay with what you do.
How did that switch happen from like caring?
With time, man. With time. Like, literally, there was no like one day to the next. There was constantly exposing yourself. And that's why I love social media. I also use it as a tool, honestly, as personal development. The more I've posted, I've become better in the industry, in the actual practice of creating content. Like anything, you put in the reps, you get better at it. I suck at running, but I've been running for the past few weeks and I'm like, okay, eventually you'll be good at it. But we all start bad. So that's with content creation. And I see it as a tool. It's like, get better, work harder, get exposed to like tough love from strangers, and keep going. And then like things just fall off your back easier.
Yeah.
Taking time. I don't know, there was no, and also becoming a mom, priorities shift. Like things that I would spend time focusing on, I ain't got time for that. Like, I got to go make snacks for somebody. So that's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. So where do you see the trajectory of your life going?
Yo, that's a deep question.
Because again, you're wearing so many hats.
Yeah, I can't be a jungle, whatever it's called, circus forever. That is true. And this is a big part of, something I question every day, every week, fork in the road. Like, where's my direction? And while I can't say too much when it comes to my medical career, thanks, Quebec government, I'm figuring things out on that end. It's not going to look like it did before I had kids. Let's just say that. I definitely won't be working to the same capacity as it did in the last 7 years, which I'm okay with. It's taken time to process that because, I went to medical school. I did all these sacrifices. I'm like, will things look the same? They won't. And that's okay. I'm still going to be helping people, just maybe in a different way. And I want content creation to take over. To be honest, like, there are so many benefits in the creator economy in this industry and so many potentials, not just benefits, potentials, because it's hard work. Like, it is a full-time job in a different way. But I'm thriving off of it. Like, I'm learning and growing, and I'm part of also a few communities. I'm learning from other creators. It's hard to be in a space also where you're not, like, in a medical space, I had other colleagues. They all understood the same exact issues. We all experienced them. In this space, I don't have like friends to rub shoulders with to be like, hey, so now that I'm finding those people, those creators that I can bounce ideas off of, I want this to take over. Well, whether I'll build a membership platform, whether I'll make a cookbook, I don't really know the end point, and that's okay. I'm in the messy middle, and I kind of love it. I've learned to just embrace whatever's going on, the process, because once it's done, once you're at your, quote, finish line, which I don't believe there ever is one, will you look back and be like, oh, I enjoyed all those years? Or will you be like, all I did was stress, and now I'm here, and now what? Off to the next objective. So I'm not about that anymore, right?
Yeah.
Just like you asked, how was medical school? Like, mostly sucked, but if I embraced as much as I could have embraced more, and it wouldn't have just been like this, like scratch off that part to become a doctor. So I'm not scratching off that part to build the business that I wish to have. I'm just going through it.
Yeah. Do you think the medical field will eventually? No, please,
Yeah.
please keep going.
Yeah.
Do you think the medical field is ready to move with the times, or do you think at some point it will be inevitable, like they will have to catch up with
There's already
what's happening?
AI being implemented in, for example, our medical notes. Like, not everyone uses it, but it's a big efficiency thing, right? Like typing, or let alone writing notes, and I hope people don't do that anymore, is to an extent inefficient. So having AI come into the mix and creating some of our notes, obviously we edit them, has been a big advancement. In terms of social media, I don't think it's a necessity for doctors at all. I think those who want to speak out loud, and I follow a lot of doctors, whether dermatologists, gynecologists, on YouTube and these different spaces that are sharing amazing health advice.
For free.
Sound advice for free. And I think that is definitely the way to go if you have a passion for it. If you're kind of like 99% of doctors who like to be behind closed doors, one-on-one, intimate, and nothing else, don't expose yourself. I get that too, but I'm obviously not that person. And I'm like, why should I dim myself down if there's so much more of my personality that can and should be out there and that is appreciated and helping. But
yeah. How has your family reacted to the success that you've had?
They're like excited for me.
Yeah.
Especially like my grandfather, my sister, like they're just all into it.
Yeah. Are they on social media?
Yes, some. Yeah. Some of them, they're definitely not content creators.
Okay.
They're on there watching me.
Exactly.
Rooting me on.
That's sweet. That's really sweet.
Yeah, it's good.
Speaking of, again, social media, I'm sure your DMs are full with a lot of questions. Do you find that some are more recurring than others?
Yes.
Such as,
I just gave birth X months ago and I'm tired of looking at my body like this. And how do I lose weight and what do I do?
Okay, so let's answer that.
Okay. It's a good question. And what other questions do I have? Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of also, is it safe? Cottage cheese, what can I replace my food with? I'm like, okay. Or I made this recipe and I loved it. So for the postpartum weight loss, which is obviously kind of like my I don't want to say niche, but that's my expertise. Like I know about that. I've been through that. And I even have a coach certification in pre-postnatal coaching. Like I get it. I also know how hard it is, like sleepless nights, etc. So your question is, how do you go about losing weight and getting back into shape postpartum?
Yeah.
Number one, give yourself grace. I think people feel like it's a race because of what we see online. Someone did it in 2 months and 6 months and 9 months, and I need to compare myself to that. Do not. That's number one. Number two, sleep first. Nothing functions well if you haven't gotten your sleep. And that's hard to say as like someone who like just gave birth and had broken sleep. But the point is, like, even if you have broken sleep and you could take a nap or you can extend it in the morning, prioritize that over lifting weights or making a big fancy meal. Get your rest and then start implementing slowly the habits. I tell people, forget the scale because the scale is going to fluctuate on so many things. Really, whether you're pregnant or not, postpartum or not, the weight is not a great indicator of success. Other outcomes, like what choice did I make around breakfast, lunch, and supper today versus yesterday? How much water did I drink today? Basic. It's all about the basics. Did I drink today versus yesterday? Did I manage to move my body in some intentional way rather than sit on the couch for the past 2 hours or not? Can I take my baby for a walk rather than stay in the house, right? Small things that are going to add up over time.
Yeah.
So move intentionally. I have programs around that. So a postpartum pelvic floor, it's all about, restoring your core and pelvic floor. That's not for weight loss, but for rehab. For the not peeing your pants, for the strengthening yourself. So that's like step one. Like you just gave birth, just do these things.
Yeah.
Then implementing nutrition, again, slowly. I always talk about like habit stacking, like bring in one thing at a time. I always say breakfast first, protein forward meal. So what does that mean? find a protein forward meal you like. I'm not giving you no meal plan. Find, of all the ingredients that I've shared with you, which meal do you like and can you have maybe on repeat, maybe rotate between 2, 3. Don't make it complicated. Make it simple. Because the more complicated we get, keto, this, that, following every influencer, every new trend, the more we get lost.
Yeah.
It's like you ride a bike and you fall off 10 times rather than just like following the same path. You're trying 10 different paths when you should really just be getting good at this one path.
Yeah.
So get good at making this one meal every day or every other day. Get good at prioritizing your sleep, giving yourself grace, and then move intentionally. And then when you're ready, every body's different. I can't tell you at 6 weeks, at 10 weeks. That's why I don't like those cookie cutter kind of advice, even from doctors. At 6 weeks, you're cleared. What does that mean? Every woman has to kind of implement differently. Like I will start exercising way before the average woman, and that's just me. That doesn't mean you should be doing what I'm doing. But movement is really for building up your strength. I don't say move for weight loss. Move to build up that strength. You're picking up kids. You're lugging things around. You're getting groceries. Like you need to build strength. Otherwise, you'll get injured and you won't be doing anything. So
right.
Yeah.
So again, I go back to these words: simple, sensible, realistic. I think people, and I include myself in people, want to feel like we're making choices that matter and that matter today, right now. So
because we want instant gratification.
Exactly. It's like, no, I'm trying to lose weight. I can't sleep. I can't, that can't be my priority.
By Sunday, my scale should be different.
Yeah. And you're asking me to like walk for 10 minutes. Well, what's that going to accomplish?
I need to do 2 hours or nothing.
Exactly. So I think that collectively as a society, we kind of like just need to let go of that control, of the illusion of control that like, unless we're like pushing ourselves to the limit, we're not doing anything.
Right. So unless you're running for a marathon or trying to do a specific race where you need to give yourself 110%, Hydrox, whatever it is, in general life, you don't need to be giving 110%. And in fact, it'll backfire because once someone realizes, man, I can't keep up with this. I just did this for 2 weeks. I'm going to burn out. Then they go back 5 steps. What kind of progress is that?
Yeah.
So no one wants to hear slow and steady wins a race, but slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
And I've been there myself, and I feel the strongest I've ever been after 3 kids. It's not by accident. It's because I intentionally kept up the habits for long term.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thanks. I don't think it's even incredible. But then I realized what people struggle with, the all or none approach. And it's like, I'm doing everything or I'm doing nothing. And that is like the quickest route to failure.
Yeah.
Quickest route to giving up, the all or none.
I feel like it's seared into our brain that you really have to go all out and it's no excuses. And
true.
There's just this like pressure of.
We also see it. We see these perfect morning routines, these perfect fitness apparel and fitness outfit and courses and classes and schedule. And I'm like, this is not the majority of people. These are the people who have the time, who are editing the content and posting it for likes and views. But if that's our reference point, then man, we've lost it. And I guess I'm privileged in that I have enough of a sense of self, enough of a scientific and educated background that I'm not so easily swayed by trends and visuals and things that I know are not attainable. But most people don't have that sense of self, whether they're 20s, 30s, or 40s. They just don't. They're not like, no, I'm good with me. I'm good. I trust the process. No, I trust her process and his process. And in that way, they lose themselves. So I think having a sense of self is a big key to moving forward in any personal journey.
So I'll replace sense of self with critical thinking for the sake of my question.
Yeah.
But let's say the average person who doesn't have your background and your habits and the things that enable you to successfully navigate these conversations and these trends, what would you recommend? Like, how can we filter through the noise and determine whether something is worth listening to? Like it's actually an important new discovery that we should be paying attention to, or is it just something that
is noise?
Yeah,
contributing to more noise.
Yeah.
It's a really good question because you know what? Everything seems so factual and everything is so convincing. The editing is so good that it feels like that's got to work. That's what you ate for 3 months to get those apps. It's going to work for me, you know, and that's not realistic. I think number one, ask yourself, right? Critical thinking. How does this content make me feel? Is it and that could be even like people will be turned off by my content, even if it's mine, unfollow, right? So if the content makes you feel uninspired, bad about yourself, overwhelmed, whatever the word is, probably an indication that you should unfollow. That's for one. We're talking about content consumption right now because that really is dictating a lot of choices. Unfollow. Doesn't mean black, delete, just means, or muted, whatever. An option that you don't need to look at it every day. And this is hard. This is like a big thing because people feel like kind of attached to these things they follow and follow daily, you know, and they almost do it obsessively. I see people see my stories, like people who don't even engage with me, and I'm like, wow, they see my stories every day, and now I'm at 1,000, so I can't even see who does. But sometimes the top 10 see it, and I'm like, every day, huh? That's funny. I've never had one conversation with this person. Anyway, I hope I'm serving them in some way.
Yeah.
But if I'm not serving and it's just for you to keep comparing yourself or feel bad about yourself, I don't think my content does that. But if you're looking at someone's stuff only to push you lower, unfollow.
Yeah. No, you're not haughty at all. Like
I keep it real.
You're very, you're very down to earth.
I don't have time to like do that. Anyway, I don't overthink my content either. I've been much more real. Like people meet me in real life and they're like, oh my God, you're exactly like you are online. I'm like, as I should be, but many people are not.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. If you meet someone online and you're like, whoa, they are way off. Hello. Please just unfollow the fakeness that they're sharing. So there's that. Then follow accounts that do inspire you, do make you feel good, do help you make better choices, simple or not, right? Ideally, it's simple. Limit your consumption. I know it's easier said than done, but people who are on like their screen 8 hours a day consuming, not creating, are probably not serving themselves in any way. Like set yourself boundaries, like X o'clock, it's off, or this to this time, I'm allowed to check things out, and then I'm checking out. Right? Like replace the consumption with something else. I don't want to say a book because no one's going to listen to me, but let it be a book. Let it be sitting with your kids one-on-one. Let it be painting or cooking a meal, right? So in and out. Same thing for the things you save. Only save things that are actually going to be a tangible takeaway, whether that's a piece of advice, because people share excellent advice, whether it's a recipe, but steer away from the extremes. Honestly, it's that. It's just be conscious of your consumption and you won't know who's saying the right thing or the wrong thing. But if it feels overwhelming, let it go.
Yeah.
You probably don't need it.
Yeah. I think how do I feel after listening to this person is...
It's a big giveaway. Like it's a big indicator.
I agree. And I think that there may be... people may be... struggling to see the difference between being compassionate to themselves and being self-indulgent in the sense that, let's say you've been struggling with something health-related and nothing has worked for you. You haven't really evolved. You might think you need like a slap in the face or some type of tough
Extreme.
love
because
you haven't overcome that problem yet. And so you cannot allow yourself to be self-indulgent or not expect more from yourself. And so you're going to be drawn to people who are very in your face and very categorical.
Got it.
But perhaps you just have to be compassionate and understand that like,
that's not where you're at.
That's not where you're at. And
so there's a difference between a no BS approach, which I believe I am. Like I will say it clear, even to my patients, I'd be like, listen, this is garbage. Like, don't try to convince me you barely eat in a day. Like, because you name me 5 things you ate, that's food. It's processed food. It seems like low calorie, but it's not healthy. So I'll be direct. But there's that versus the extreme picture perfect. That's not the same thing. Being a picture perfect, this is what you do, or nothing is extreme. Being a no BS, like don't BS me, let's get to the nitty gritty is different. And what you're saying is people feel like they need to be not just no BS, but extreme perfect to feel like they're doing something, to feel like they're getting over their lack of and their incapacity. And that's not true. I don't think that's true. I don't believe a soft approach is for everyone. I don't believe everyone's going to be like, put the cookie away and that's going to work for everyone. No. Get out of your house. I'll say it to your face. Like, you have no self-control. Get out of your house. Like, it's okay to say that. Like, I'm not going to lie. But people being like, no Nutella, no this, or else, you know, this is the consequence. That's not fair. It's not real.
I understand.
Especially where we live.
So I asked you to think about 2 questions before coming today. And the first one is, what is a topic or a discussion where we could benefit from having, that we should be more nuanced about?
Man, so many came to mind. But I think the one that stuck with me as I was developing it in my brain is the idea of success. Like, even what I used to think success was versus what I define it as today. I think there's a big nuance on that, and it'll vary per person. So I can elaborate, or you can ask me questions.
Yes.
But I think I used to see success, and many people do, as someone who has financial success, so are wealthy, not just financial freedom, but wealthy, have a certain level of wealth, house, you could see it in their, their earnings or their, what they have. And that made them successful, right? But now I see success as really having actual joy and happiness in your day-to-day life, not in spite of how much you make, because we all need, money is needed in order to have a successful life. I don't believe you can be joyous without a certain amount of money, obviously. But I think past a certain amount, it won't change your happiness level or your quality of life. But I think the happiness actually has to come from within, as fluffy as that sounds. But if you can find joy in every day as much as you can, that's real success. And that's being mindful, right? Mindful living, mindful movement. All my programs are mindful something, mindful eating. But mindful living is I could be right here, right now and say, this is the moment. This is where I'm supposed to be and I'm enjoying it to the best I can. That's real success. And I don't think people actually tap into that. I think they're constantly chasing somebody else's success.
Yeah.
And when they realize as they're working towards that, they're not really happy. That's not success to me.
It's like something that can be pointed to externally and say, see, that's why
that's
I'm successful.
Success. Like, no, that might be part of the picture of your success, but I don't think that is what you need to be successful.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it, as someone who started medicine, and people's ideas, I'm successful because I became a doctor, and I don't see it that way. I don't think being a doctor is what made me successful. I think especially since having kids, being able to be present in every day, despite challenges, which let me promise you, I'm not absolved of challenges. I'm able to be present and really enjoy every day. Like, I know I'm not getting it back. I go to bed being like, man, you're not getting today back. Like, that's real success. And like, I only hope to be even deeper in the moment as time goes by, as years go by. Because I know, God willing, I have years ahead of me. So if I'm able to think even more deeply about each day, I'll be super successful by the time I'm 50. Like, I'll be ready to die. I don't want to, but I'll be ready for it.
I think you're already successful.
Thanks.
Yeah. So you mentioned that there were a couple of topics that you were thinking about. Is there another one that you'd like to share?
So like balance in motherhood. I don't think it's very nuanced because it varies per individual, per life situation. And life is really it comes in like, you're in different eras, you're in different waves, you're in different seasons. And balance is almost never going to exist if you think that you're going to have everything figured out all at once in a moment. That will never happen.
Or no source of stress.
Correct, right? Balance is, I'm zen all the time. That doesn't exist. It's how you manage every situation. But yeah, when people are seeking balance all the time, I think we have to understand that balance is just managing as many things as you can at once. And there's this quote me and my sister always talk about. It's, you're so hard on yourself because you keep raising the bar. So you keep thinking like, I was able to do this and now it's impossible. It's because you've added more to your caseload, right? Yeah. Whether you've taken on another hat or whether you've had another child or whether you're deeper invested in your business, in your work, you are taking on more and you keep expecting yourself to perform and outperform the last level of yourself. So there's never going to be balance if you keep, and it's good for you. Like, you're setting yourself up for kicking ass more than the previous version of you, but that is hard to maintain. That is hard to keep up. And then the balance is like, when do I need a break? Like, I went away to New York last weekend. First time I left all my 3 kids. And I was like, I needed that if I didn't want to blow up this week. And it was the best thing to restore and recharge my batteries. But I'm like, you got to be aware of yourself to be able to know, this is my tipping point. I'm going to come back better for you all. And I did it. And it was great. But and everyone will have that in a different way. Maybe you got to go to a spa. Maybe you have to take yourself out for supper. Find your balance in every day, but there's no complete balance at any point.
Well said. You mentioned raising the bar. What is the next bar that you want to raise?
I don't even know for sure. I don't it was obviously one of my goals was increase my following in 2025. Reach the goal of, I didn't have a number, it's 10,000. I want 10,000 followers. I've been at 5, 6, 7 for years and still happy there. And I was able to be happy there. I wasn't always like, damn it, Rosie, you need to be at 10,000. I was like, ugh, you're putting good content. You should be growing, but again, I don't have control over everything. Do your best. Analyze the data. Be tactical about it. So now that I'm at 50K, it's like, I definitely want to reach a bigger audience. If I could reach 100K, amazing. I think by the end of 2025, I definitely want to reach that. But I don't love just numeric values. That's not going to make me happy. Like, now that I realize I was able to increase my following till 50,000, am I happier? No. I'm just happy that more people are getting access to my content. So let's reach 100K. Sure. It's what am I going to do with that audience? So my bigger goal is to really grow a business with a grown audience.
Right. And I think that, chasing the number is not always about chasing the number itself. It's more about having proof that what you've created, what you've put your heart into,
Has value.
Yeah, has been recognized as having value by others. So
totally. Yeah. That is what it's about, right? Like I'm making all this. It's not for me to watch it. It's for as many people as possible to watch it. And that's not an ego thing because it's not feeding into me. It's pouring out into others. Like that's really always been my goal. Like how many more people can I touch? Can I reach? And with simple things, I don't think I'm Mother Teresa here. I'm not like changing the world, although I'm nuancing what health should look like, especially in the online space.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you something about, you've alluded to building a business online. Can you speak a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I've learned so much about the creator economy. There are so many different ways to monetize, right? I've learned how to create, first of all, using Canva and other platforms that I didn't know before. I didn't learn in medicine, how to create digital products, right? Ebooks, namely. I don't have a course or anything, and how to sell them. So digital products is a cool way that I've learned and managed to do over the past few years. But I want to find other ways. And there are, there's affiliate marketing, there's brand deals. And I'm not big on, I only share things that I authentically use, but I love exploring the many different ways that you can make money online. And I'm in that space where I'm learning how to maximize not just my audience, but my impact through either brand deals or affiliate marketing and this and that. And it's also like a game of learning which one suits your personality. Not everyone is made to make a course. Not everyone is made to make a workout program or ebook and sell it. Not everyone is made to make sales. Also, like it's a skill to learn how to sell online. Like I don't know. I'm learning, obviously. I didn't know anything about this 4 or 5 years ago. And I've learned so much in the past year. I feel like things like creating an email list is so important because Instagram can go away tomorrow. What do you have left? Right? So Instagram can't be if you're trying to make a business, can't be your main source of business. So I'm working on that. Just stuff. And I love it. Like I love learning about it more than the making money. I feel like even if I make money, I'm like, cool. But I'm like, what did you learn about sales psychology? How are you going to set up your next launch? So there's a lot to do. That's what you asked, right? Like around making money online. But it's fun to learn the different ways and which ones actually suit me.
Right.
And which ones can help people in the way I want to help them, right? Will it be a fitness platform? Will it be a space where other professionals come and share their knowledge to my audience? I think that would be really beneficial, whether dietitian, doctors, fertility experts. Like I have access to all these brilliant minds. How do I get them to help more people? And that's kind of what's brewing in my brain.
Yes. Yeah. And you also mentioned something about a subscription platform. I don't think, you don't have one, but is that something that you'd like to see happen in the near future, or is that more of a long-term?
I don't want to say no. I don't want to say yes. It's definitely on my mind. I'm being honest. I'm not even holding back. Like these are things I don't share with anyone, and I'm sharing it here. I think I'd like that for long term. I just need to make sure that my foundation is strong. I can't be doing this in my current season, babies. I
respect that.
And when I give something, I want to give it my all. Right. So mentally, emotionally, all those things, because I know nothing will be easy. It'll be a learning curve. Like anything, nothing will come easy. If you expect it to come easy, you gonna quit real prematurely. That's also what I learned. If I thought after one post I was gonna go viral, I would have quit 5 years ago. But I'm still posting because I'm like, there's hope. Right. So nothing will come easy, but I want to be fully present. And that doesn't mean you're 100% ready, because you can't wait to be 100% ready to do anything. No, it just means I have to be 100% present to give it my all whenever I decide on launching either a platform or something else.
I love that. And I wish you all the success.
Thanks,
You've worked
Nadine.
very hard, and
I feel like I didn't get to ask you anything.
It's about you. Today is about you.
I know. That's what podcasts are, but thank you.
Of course. And before we part ways, I mentioned to you that this season, I'd like to donate money on behalf of every guest that I invite on my podcast to say thank you for giving me your time.
I love that.
And I asked you to think about an organization that you would like to make a donation to.
Yes. So there's a amazing nonprofit that colleagues of mine created in the past few years. It's called More Than a Cure. It's a nonprofit for breast cancer patients who are underserved and don't have access to, funds for life, and who are going through treatment. So it's called More Than a Cure. It's Montreal based, and it's run by women.
Okay. Amazing.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Amazing. So I will speak to you off cam to
thank
make
you.
sure that I'm donating to the right organization because I hadn't heard of it. So it's nice to know that something like that exists. And if other people want to make a donation to this organization, where should they go?
More Than a Cure Foundation. I will find the link and I'll share it with you.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll add it to the description. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Rosi.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing more of you online. And it was really nice to meet you in person, from online to like literally face to face.
No more real than this.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.